I've long been a fan of Oxford Reading Club ever since the COVID epidemic. I gave a talk about using the Oxford Reading Club 2 or 3 years ago, and I went back to it the other day. One of the problems with Oxford Reading Club is that if you use filters, you can filter by series, you can filter by levels, and you can filter by topics. And topics are not the same as genres. So what I did was I decided to make again the genre catalogues that I'd presented 2 or 3 years ago, and I only looked at bookworms, and I'm going to look at Bookworm Starter now. Let me see if I can get the same picture there. Aha, the girl on the motorcycle. The first thing I had to do was to sign up for Oxford Reading Club again, and it had all my past activity still there. But what I discovered was that there are slightly different books in Oxford Reading Club to the ones that were there 2 or 3 years ago. So what I did was I updated my genre catalogues on Word, and occasionally it was just changing the picture, but I also added in the A1, the CEFR level that's there, because, for example, at this level, Bookworm Starters, apart from there being 1, 2, 3, 4 genres, there are also 2 levels, A1 and A1+. Sometime in the last 2 or 3 years, I'd experimented with using Padlet to show all the books in a particular series and a particular level, and I wanted to improve what I'd done there, and I consulted Gemini, and Gemini gave me a lot of help, which meant that in the end I was able to put all the Bookworms books, all the different levels, on one Padlet. This has quite an advantage because free users of Padlet only have 3 Padlets available, and as I'm only interested in Bookworms and Dominoes, that meant I had 2 of my Padlets already used. So I simply had to copy all the information from my Word document into the Padlet, and there you can see they all go through. For each book, I also added in the genre and obviously the CEFR level. The Bookworm Starters are A1 and A1+. It took more than 10 hours to transfer all that information from my Word documents to the Padlet, as well as checking up that everything was up to date. There are 176 books between the 7 levels here, rather too many for a student to look at and choose from. So one of the useful things that's possible here is to click on the 3 dots and to copy a breakout room link. And I'll show you in a moment the advantages of doing that, as it only shows students that level, that column. So this represents the student who's been shown that starter level is the right level to begin with. And you can see it's only got the ones in purple or fuchsia. So that's a much more reasonable number to look at. Now, the interesting thing is that students can then click on search and then click on filter, and then they could choose, for example, crime and A1. And that's it. There are just 4 books for the student to choose from. Now, I've already filled in some information here about the rating of one of the books. So let's go through that again with Police TV. So when the students read that book, if that's the book they choose to read, they need to click on here, give it a rating. Now, Artifacts Creations is I'm imagining that your students can put their names in there. So you can see that that's been accepted. The other thing is that students are asked to add a comment about the book. Here you've got to allow various things. We're going to use grabador de audio, and that's going to say so. What we can put in here is my quick comment about the book. It was a very exciting story. I enjoyed it very much. The vocabulary was easy. It wasn't difficult at all. So students could then click on Siguen, which is next. They could just check. It was a very exciting story. I enjoyed it very much. The vocabulary was easy. It wasn't difficult at all. Okay, and desa is save. So you can see that that's been added in there. It was a very exciting story. I enjoyed it very much. The vocabulary was easy. It wasn't difficult at all. So that's how students can be guided towards the most appropriate level for them. And then they can make their own choices of the genre, and if they have a choice of a level, they choose the level. I'm now going to show you that you can use these for yourself. You can make your own copy so that you don't have the comments that have been added by my students. So I'm going to click on Share, and I've set it up so that visitors with a link can't add new books. They can only comment and rate something. So the auto remake link is here, and so enable auto remake link, and I've copied that, and then what I'll show you is what it will look like if you use this link. So I've copied that link into Chrome. Obviously, you have to register with Padlet here. So I don't want to do it with the same user that I used before. So I'm going to register with Google. So the remake is in progress. I don't want notifications, so I'm going to block that. Okay, so now you've got exactly the same grid of books at the Bookworms level, and you can see that nothing has been copied over of the comments from my students. So I'll show you now 2 QR codes so that you can actually start doing that. I used Bitly to make some QR codes so that it would be easy for you and anyone that I share this QR code with to make their own version of the genre catalogue for Dominoes on this side and Bookworms for the other. I hope that will be useful.